The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Schaefer.
Here.
DiDio.
Here.
Tola.
Here.
Clay.
Here.
Landis.
Here.
Wakefield.
Here.
Bush.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Tedford.
Here.
Gessing. Contender. And Lebec.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We are going to go out of order a little bit tonight, and we're going to start with some proclamations. We have several people to thank tonight, and I'm going to start with Distinctive Tree Service. Come on. Jason, come on, sir. This is Jason Yerke, and he's the owner of Distinctive Tree Service. And the reason he's here tonight is because he was doing some work over on Valley Falls and noticed that we had a large amount of dead trees on our property. And he volunteered to come over and help the town. Now, do you know how many trees did you guys take down?
About 30.
30 trees for the town, which anybody that's had a tree taken down knows the cost of taking down a tree. So we want to thank him for being part of the Vernon family and doing that for us. But we also have a proclamation. And this is Town of Vernon Certificate of Appreciation, Distinctive Tree Service. Whereas owner Jason Yerke is a Vernon native and a graduate of Rockville High School, earned a degree in urban forestry from the University of Massachusetts, and has built a company that provides an important service and employs many local people. And whereas Jason offered his company's services to assist town staff with a tree removal project at Valley Falls Park, where he noticed distressed and damaged trees requiring attention. And whereas Jason and his company, Distinctive Tree Service, donated their services free of charge to remove the distressed trees near the entrance to Valley Falls Park. And whereas the town of Vernon is grateful to Jason and Distinctive Tree Service for their generous donation to this project. Now therefore, be it resolved, on behalf of the town council and all the residents of Vernon, we say a hearty thank you to Jason and Distinctive Tree Service for their assistance in this project. Thank you very much. They want this nice tractor that reaches up and grabs the trees. It's really cool. I think any guy that saw that probably would have wanted to try that out. But the cost is about $1 million, so. He has training sessions. You just have to work for a few months for him. Every year we recognize Fire Prevention Week, and we do this with a proclamation. So I'm going to ask the fire marshal to come on up. The other fire chief, you're here to come on. This mayor proclamation says, whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk for fire. And whereas smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are essential to every home, detecting danger well before we can. And whereas you should never ignore the sounds emitted by smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. When an alarm makes a noise, a beeping sound or a chirping sound, you must take action. A continuous set of 3 loud beeps means there is smoke or fire. Get out. Call 911 and stay. And whereas detectors emitting a single chirp every 30 to 60 seconds indicates the battery is low and a fresh battery should be installed immediately. Whereas fires are on the decline in Vernon thanks to the prevention work of the fire marshal and the fire department, And Fire Prevention Week is an opportunity to continue that momentum and learn that what can be done to keep ourselves and our family members safe from fire. And whereas the theme for this year's Fire Prevention Week is learn the sounds of fire safety, let us all do our best to follow the rules and sounds to keep everyone safe. Now therefore, I, Daniel A. Champagne, Mayor, together with the Vernon Town Council, on behalf of the entire town of Vernon, do hereby declare Fire Prevention Week in the town of Vernon, October 3rd through the 9th, 2021. Would you like to say something?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you for your ongoing support of the Fire Marshal's Office, the fire department, and the efforts that we put forward every year for Fire Prevention Week. Last year with COVID, we weren't able to get into the school system. This year, we're making an aggressive push to see every kindergarten, first, and second grader in the town of Vernon the week of October 18th. We're going to go give a short speech and demonstration, and then the best part of it, we give them the small fire hat and they get to see the trucks. For the first 30 minutes, they really don't care what I have to say, and I understand it. I don't take it to heart. But getting to see the truck was the best part I know when I was a kid, and I'm sure for a lot of you as well. Thank you again for your ongoing support of our efforts, and everyone stay safe.
And now, something we started just before COVID started, and that is the Volunteer Wall of Honor. And if anybody's come in the back door, you'll see the wall, and we've already started putting names on it. And in order to make it onto that wall, you have to have at least 20 years of volunteer service to the town of Vernon. And I believe the groups that we're seeing tonight well exceed that. Did we have a total for the number of years for this group?
No.
Is it over 100?
It's over.
It's over 100 years. So just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. In no particular order. First person we're going to start with is Christy Vale. Christy Vale has been involved in volunteerism for over 35 years here in the town of Vernon, beginning with the Vernon Board of Education in 1985 to 1993, helping the town work through the closing of Vernon Elementary School and the opening of Center 375. She served on multiple committees during her time on the Board of Education until she ran for the town council under Mayor Slattery in 1993. Christy was a trusted member of the Board of Education and Town Council. She was known as the voice of reason when it came to difficult discussions. She has a way of bringing both sides close enough together to achieve compromise, a talent that is lost in today's politics. At the end of her term on the council in 1995, Christy took a short time off and joined the Traffic Authority in 1998, serving 2 terms. It wasn't long before fellow council members sought her out to run with them again. In 2003 to 2005, and 2005 to 2007. Winning both terms, she served on the Human Services Advisory Commission as the council's liaison and the Personnel Committee. Christy presently serves as a Justice of the Peace. Her term began in 2005 to present. Christy has been a pillar of stability for the town of Vernon government for many years and was selected to be a Board of Ethics member in 2009 and continues to serve today. I am honored to add Christy Vale's name to the Volunteer Wall of Honor this evening. Christy. Now the wall can hold 500 names, and at 20 years, that's 10,000 years of volunteer service. And each person that goes on the wall also gets a one-of-a-kind pin, so please don't lose it. But it was made specifically for those that are part of the volunteer wall. There it is. It is. Did you want to say anything?
It's not like me to not say something. Thank you so much. This evening means a very, very big deal to me. As Dan said, I've been in a lot of different parts of government, and volunteerism is something that it's part of the community of Vernon. People are not just, I'm at a loss for words, like I said, that's not usually me. But being being a member of the Ethics Commission, I can tell you that in the time I've served, which is over 10 years, we've only had one ethics complaint. So that tells you the people of Vernon are very ethical. And we're to be proud of that. But this is something that I will hang in my wall of fame, which right now is my laundry room. But I am going to get a nicer frame, and it means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Next up is Tim Pulaski. Tim Pulaski began his service to the residents of the town of Vernon as Capital Improvements Committee member in the year 2000, serving 7 terms. This committee advises and assists the administration in preparing programs concerning municipal improvements and for proposed capital projects. The committee is unique in that council members, electors, and staff work together on the capital improvement plan that guides the purchases, construction, and replacements of assets over time. They also participate in the gathering of information for the annual budgets. It is a highly technical commission that requires knowledge on a wide range of topics and projects. Tim Pulaski has served multiple mayors and town administrators over his 20 years and is highly respected for his knowledge and dedication. Tim is also a member of the Permanent Municipal Building Committee. This appointment allows Tim the opportunity to examine the buildings that may come before the Capital Improvement Committee at some later date for repair or renovation. It is an honor to present the name of Tim Pulaski for inclusion on the Volunteer Wall of Honor this evening. Tim?
Well, thank you very much for this. I'm a little shocked that you got next to me already. I think there's probably a few people who can do this longer than I have, done a little more, but I do appreciate the honor. Serving on capital improvements is, as he said, unique. The part I like best about it is that everyone is working as one unit together. I sit side by side with Lisa Moody, 2 different parties, but we're working for the same goal, betterment of Vernon. And politics doesn't come into that room. It's just about what Vernon needs and the best way to get that and make Vernon a better place to live. And that's my favorite part about it. I'm glad I've been able to serve. I'm glad I've been able to raise my family here and have my children also being involved in the town. My daughter, for years has worked on elections, in the registrar's office. She's coaching the high school now. My son's running for office this year. And hopefully someday it'll be my grandkids doing the same thing. So I thank you very much.
The next person, some of you may know, and that is Marie Hurst. Marie is represented by her daughters, Laura and Janet, this evening. Marie served the public first as a teacher, and in her spare time, she spent over 40 years serving the residents of the town of Vernon. She served on appointed committees like Flood and Erosion Control Board, Capital Improvements Committee, East of the River Tourist and Convention District, Planning and Zoning Commission, and the United Artists Advisory Council. She served in a variety of capacities at Sacred Heart Church. She was a member of the Rockville Downtown Association, Rockville Community Alliance, Talon County Chamber of Commerce, Friend of Valley Falls, and the Vernon Historical Society. Marie was an elected, passionate member of the Vernon Board of Education. She served and chaired many committees over her tenure, for example, Personnel Subcommittee Chairman, Budget Committee, and the Audit Committee. Elected to multiple terms on the Vernon Town Council, Marie was deputy mayor, serving with several mayors, and chaired and served on many committees too numerous to mention. Marie is in our town history as the first elected woman mayor of Vernon, serving 2 terms before moving yet another step forward to the position of state senator of the 35th district. Marie Hurst loved Vernon and its residents, but most of all, was that the 35th district? She was a state rep. She wasn't. Was she a state rep too? I'm confusing myself here. She's been in so many different things. Marie Hurst loved Vernon and its residents, but most of all, she loved all the children and wanted them to have the best life we could give them. Serving as a member of the committee or board was not enough for Marie. Her creative mind brought forward ideas that caught on and activities that continued for many years. A few examples. Annual Community Tax Sale, Neighborhood Community Alliance, Halloween Happenings. She had several awards. She was the Teacher of the Year, East Windsor, the Ella Grasso Women's Leadership Award. We are proud to add former Mayor Marie Hurst's name to the Volunteer Wall of Honor.
So it's kind of amazing with that list. I don't feel like maybe I had a mom at home. I don't know. I really thank you. She would be ecstatic about this. But more importantly, I think it's important to thank everybody here, all of the elected officials, and just all the other people that volunteer. Because without it, the town wouldn't be anywhere, communities wouldn't be anywhere. And so I applaud anybody who volunteers or decides to run for elected office, and just want to thank everybody for their service.
All right. The final one for tonight is Ann Fisher. Ann Fisher's resume for volunteerism spans from 1985 to present. Prior to becoming an elected official, Ann worked with all kinds of organizations focused on children and students. She served the PTO organizations at Center Road School, Vernon Center Middle School, Rockville High School, the Rockville High School Parent Advisory Boards, for a total of 18 years, often serving more than one school at a time. In those 18 years, she served in a variety of capacities, ranging from president to a variety of committee chair positions. Simultaneously, Ann was involved in 12 years with Cub Scout Pack 223 as a den leader and committee chair, 12 years with the Vernon Little League, always serving in a position of leadership, including president, vice president, and treasurer. In 1998, Ann Fisher co-founded the Vernon Lacrosse Association, using her endless energy to move the association forward and helping it grow. In 1990 to 2006, she was an active member of the Project Graduation Program, serving in a variety of positions. She was president for 7 years, treasurer for 4 years, and in many other capacities. Presently, Ann Fisher serves as the chairman of the Vernon Board of Education. She has been a member from 2003 to present, serving several of those terms as chairman. She has served the Finance, Policy, Curriculum, Communications, and Grievance committees, as well as many other important committees. She has also led the Board of Education in 2 superintendent searches over the years. Ann Fisher has been selected as the Connecticut Secretary of State's Public Service Award recipient for the community volunteerism in 2002 and youth sports leadership in 2005. She has also been recognized by the Connecticut Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance Award recipient. Honorary Layman Award for steadfast advocacy for health and wellness in 2009. I think that was one whole sentence. Sorry about that. We are proud to add Ann Fisher's name to the Volunteer Wall of Honor this evening. Amen.
Just want to say it's been a privilege and an honor to work with all the people that I've worked with over the years, and I'm so glad that we moved to Vernon 37 years ago. And thank you, everybody.
Right, we are going to take a 5-minute break. I think there's some cookies out there, so you may go and say hi to those that were just on. All right? All right, 5 minutes. The next thing we're going to have is Citizens Forum. Citizens Forum. Where is... Name and address.
Oh, no. How y'all doing? My name is Gennaro Gonzalez. I live on West Main Street, 137. Well, Mayor, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, just talk to you like I know you, man. I think that the community where I live at needs help. We need a lot of help. I've been asking for bus passes. I've been asking for certain things from social services. I have given them numbers from Joe Cox in Manchester, Connecticut, that runs the Y Center over there, to see how they do the budgeting and everything. And all the guys that are supposed to be helping, they're all in jail now. I get them jobs and they end up in jail. How can you come to somebody for help and they don't help you? Nah. It's like me. I don't work. I take care of my 2 kids right now. You know? I do my best as a citizen as much as I can, or a civic duty, right? I complain a lot. I come here. That's what I do. I wouldn't be a Gonzalez if I don't come here to complain to y'all. You know, I get tired of complaining about the street. They really, really speed fast, man. There's just nothing else to do. You know? Sometimes I feel that the people are, part of my language, are bullcrappers. They tell you a story and they fit to you later. And they don't do nothing, you know? Don't sell a good one if you can't produce evidence. I remember when I was in jail and I was the imam, or I was the wakil of my unit, out of 2,500 inmates, there were 1,700 Muslims in that facility in Fort Dix Federal Penitentiary in New Jersey. I was the leader of 1,700 Muslims out of 2,500 convicts. In one unit alone, there's 400 convicts, and there's one wakil per unit. I would rather be in prison than be out here because I get more help out in there than I get out here. A lot of us feel like that. Honestly, for real. It's not, and being honest with y'all, this is not because I'm trying to say it for fun, but it's the truth. We get free meals in the federal penitentiary. We get free Harvard education, UConn education, because I have done it, okay? We don't have to worry about nothing, no tornado, no winter, no nothing. The federal government got the federal convicts to go underground. They got all that. Some of us out here, if we seek for help when we come to you, and I come here to talk to y'all for help, I need the help. If you want people to still go in people's yard and steal their lawnmowers, and steal their sawzalls, or steal their calico converters, so be it. I can't keep controlling other individuals that are indigent, that are committing these crimes on your streets, which I know. You know? I can't do but much, you know, and then with the vaccine, they're forcing this thing. You know, there's massive amounts of proof. Massive amounts of proof. Fauci is straight guilty. There's no doubt about it with gene editing. There's money that was being used by the federal government from the people. This is well known. The NIH lady that runs it is Anthony Fauci's wife. You know, but I don't complain about it. They're taking my son in a day or two because I feed him honey and cinnamon. They called DCF on me today. Because I told the Department of Health that the statute of Connecticut 59A-19 states that I have the right as a parent to deny you to take my son's blood. And you still say, fuck the state, fuck the Constitution. And you still take my son. Sorry, pardon me. They don't care about law. They don't care about nothing. My son is overweight. He fits the criteria of the Department of Children and Families Administrative Directives. And they're gonna take him from me because I told them, no, I won't give you his blood. Then I called the Department of Health. Deborah tells me, no, we're not gonna do the test. Blood is not for us. The blood is for CCMC. Why does a nonprofit organization have to do with my son's blood? Why do you want to study my son's blood? What is this so hard about? Why is y'all forcing people to have rights? So it's like, I'm telling you, I see representatives, there's people like us struggling. I'm asking y'all. We need help, man. We do. We really do need help. People like me need help. Sometimes I feel like going back to the way I used to. But I know it's not the right way. But sometimes you corner a Chihuahua, what is a Chihuahua gonna do? He gonna have to bite back. I used to be, we used to be scared of police. We're not anymore. We're willing to stand up. We're willing to do what we need to do today. You know what I mean? We need help, man. I'm asking y'all for help. You know, don't be a pretender. Don't pretend to do something. Don't smile and walk away, don't do it. That's not good. People are about to get, there's stuff going on soon, you know? I do door to door. I have the heart to go door to door and vote for people. I have the heart to grab my stick and put it in front of the town hall with a microphone, which I am allowed to, and strike and feel what I'm right. But I don't do that. I don't do it. I see people play. I don't know y'all, but on my mother's grave, I have spoken to people. Y'all went to school, went here in Rockville, Connecticut. And they sat me down, and some of them lost their houses. Some of them mentioned me in this bush. They know you from school and school here. Some of them mentioned you. They say you were a good man and you were an officer. Some of them know you from way back. My father's friends know you from what? There's a lot of y'all that you might think I might not know, but my family, we go way back. And I do ask questions. I'm asking y'all, man. Please help us, man. I don't want to go against nobody. You know? I don't want to bring my jail mentality here and be like, listen, this is the way it's going to be. We're going to have to strike out. We're going to have to come to your house door to door because we have that right. We have that right to strike. By the way, the doctor's missing her address on the report. Everybody else got their address on paper, but that doctor. On the, they get voted back in. So Dr. Baxter or something like that. Yeah, she needs her address on her so people can know that she's running as a representative. But anyway, that's my time. I'm just letting y'all know that the state is not playing fair. Okay? Y'all see me with my kids every day. They're gonna take my kid because I feed them honey and cinnamon. Okay? That's how I feed them. So the Department of Churches and Families chose to try to take my child away. Over 170. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for citizens forum? Seeing nobody. All right, we're going to close citizens forum. A few notes. Over the past month, we've had two major events with our volunteer fire department. This past Saturday, we had the wet down ceremony for Squad 441, assigned to the Nye Street Fire Station, and Engine Tank 341, assigned to the Rockville Fire Station. The wet down ceremony is a tradition in the fire service, which dates back to the late 1800s, when the horses that pulled steam-powered water pumps to fires were wet down after a call. We are happy to carry on this tradition with our very dedicated volunteer firefighters. Congratulations to all. Every October, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation sponsors the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend. In 2017, the foundation created Light the Night for Fallen Firefighters. Since then, Light the Night has expanded to include fire departments and families lighting their homes in red. The town of Vernon participated in Friday night in the lighting of all the firehouses in the Foxhill Tower. We are grateful for the Vernon Volunteer Fire Department and all of its members for many sacrifices on our behalf. Reminder, this weekend, two exciting events are happening. The New England Civil War Museum is celebrating its grand reopening this Saturday, October 9th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Central Park in front of the Town Hall and in the museum house on the second floor of the Town Hall. Civil War reenactors will set up camp, and there will be demonstrations, a book sale, raffles, and tours of the museum. There will also be a chance for students to join the reenactors as they march and drill. The museum is a national treasure, and we are fortunate to have it here in Vernon. Also this Saturday, the Rockville High School Ram Band will have its annual Festival of Bands at Rockville High School in the new stadium. The event kicks off at 5 p.m. on Saturday, October 9th, with a number of bands participating. Come support the students of Rockville High School as they host this exciting annual event. Some upcoming events. Trunk or Treat is the second annual Trunk or Treat event will be held on October 28th from 4:30 to 6:30 at Henry Park. This is a drive-through event sponsored by the Parks and Recreation Department. If you'd like to participate, call Parks and Recreation Office for more details at 860-870-3520. That's 860-870-3520. Arctic Splash, this annual event is planned for Saturday, December 4th, 2021 at Valley Falls Park. at 12:30 p.m. Check in at 1 p.m. The splash begins. Proceeds from the event benefit Send a Kid to Camp Scholarship Fund. This scholarship is to assist families and their young children to go to summer camp. And to contact Parks and Recreation is the same number at 860-870-3520 for those that want to volunteer. I'm sure we can get most of you to jump in. We'll break this. Well, I have to do the announcements right after I'm done. All right, free fall concert series at the Rockville Library. The Rockville Public Library is hosting a family-friendly free concert series. Say that 5 times fast. The next concert is October 21st, 2021, and features the Elderly Brothers, an oldies rock and roll band, and their final concert is November 4th, 2021, and features Rosie Porter and the Neon Moons, a classic country group. All concerts begin at 6 p.m. in the library's upper parking lot. In the event of rain, the concerts will be moved inside the library. Come join the fun. All right, and that is it for notes. We're going to do executive at the end. Steve, can we do consent?
Your Honor, move the consent agenda.
Second by Mary Ann. Republican.
Number 26.
26. Me too?
Yes.
Which has number 26.
Right.
Okay. And, well, everybody's good with the first one? All right, so we are basically moving consent 1. All those in favor?
1 and 3.
Hold on. Yes, 1 and 3. Sorry. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, Steve, consent 2.
Resolved, the Town Council hereby approves budget amendment requests 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28 for fiscal year 2021, as provided on the budget amendment forms submitted by Jeffrey A. O'Neill, Finance Officer and Treasurer.
Have a second? Second by Mike. All right, so these are the end of year all-togethers. So, and Ian, you had 26.
Right, just had a question on 26 through you, Your Honor. How much are we talking about when we're in this transfer, Jeff? Good evening, by the way.
Through the mayor, so we're talking about $90,000, 90,050 hours.
Okay.
So it's the leftover money unused in the roads for this fiscal year.
And it will be used for the same purposes next year?
That's correct. Through the mayor, so we'll put this in capital non-recurring with the money that we allocated for fiscal year 22 budget as well. So that pot of money will be used for the same purposes.
Okay, thank you. That was it.
So basically, it's just we didn't have time to use it, mainly because of COVID. So we didn't want to, we just want to continue doing the sidewalks and roads.
Thanks.
Okay. Bob,
Are you done doing the sidewalks for this year?
you got to use your mic.
Through the mayor, to answer your question, Ms.
Hold on a second. You got to ask the question on mic.
Sorry. Are you all done doing sidewalks for this year, 2021?
Through the mayor, no, Ms. Schaefer, we are not. We're currently waiting for some quotes from some vendors. There's been quite a bit of delay, once again, because of COVID. A lot of the vendors are doing jobs that were postponed last year. So they're actually trying to play catch up right now on a lot of work for a lot of different towns. And it's kind of like a deli counter right now. We just got a ticket and we're waiting for our turn.
Thank you.
And, you know, right now we're trying to get things moving because just that ordering supplies ahead of time, there's such a delay. Even some of the people that are bidding for projects are a little nervous about meeting timelines simply because they can't get what they need. So we're actually the bridge, we're finishing up the Dart Hill Bridge paid order as early as we can so that we can go out to bid, get that back, so all the materials can be ordered, because we're not going to start that bridge unless we know we have everything, because we got to close that road down for 120 days. Yeah. So, and anybody that, remember, one of the people that's going to be most inconvenienced by that is me, because I live right there. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. I'd rather have a safe bridge. Any other questions? No? Okay, all those in favor? Yes. Thank you. Next, Steve. Thank you, guys. New business number 1.
Be it resolved that the town council authorizes Mayor Daniel A. Champagne to execute any and all documents to make application for and receive local prevention council grant funds in the amount of $9,142.
Seconded by Polly. And, oh, there you go. Michelle, you want to just give us a brief on what this grant is for?
Yes, Mayor, I will. The Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, in combination with our Regional Action Council, makes these funds available on an annual basis. Typically, it's a little over $5,000. This year, they've added some federal money to that, and the reason is the first $5,000 is really to focus on the state's priority substance, which is vaping. This additional funding through the federal government will allow us to, our Vernon Rocks Coalition, which is our local prevention council, it will allow us to choose the substances locally that we feel are a priority, which is alcohol and cannabis, for our local prevention council. And so we will use these funds for prevention activities. They'll include things like alcohol compliance checks, tobacco compliance checks. We are going to be holding 2 drug take-back days, one in October 23rd and then one in May, to collect, all the unused medications that are out there, and we also collect vaping devices as well and materials. We'll be able to purchase and disseminate campaign materials that educate people on the risks of using substances. So that's...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions? Brian?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So thank you very much for coming tonight. It's interesting the graph you put on here where vaping and cigarette smoking intersect, vaping going up, cigarette smoking going down, like in 2004, sometime 2014. But now it's cigarette smoking is way below vaping. And I always thought when vaping first came out, well, it'll get kids off the cigarettes, that's good, because that doesn't seem to hold that true.
Through the mayor, yes, the vaping definitely was marketed as a healthy way to quit smoking, and we know that that is completely false. But it is interesting to see how that's changed over time.
Thank you and good luck. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else? No? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Steve, new business number 2.
Resolved, the Vernon Town Council, on behalf of KidSafe, Connecticut, does hereby approve the application for and acceptance of a State of Connecticut Small Cities Grant in the amount of $150,000. The Town Council further approves the resolution entitled Certified Resolution of Applicant Connecticut Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program as presented.
Seconded by Laura. Would you like to give us a little brief on this?
Certainly, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As mentioned, the town of Vernon.
Microphone.
Okay, sorry about that. Good evening, all.
Can you just introduce yourself?
I'm sorry, Peter Testa, A&E Services. I work for the town of Vernon as a grant administrator. I'll be preparing the application on behalf of the town to the Department of Housing for this funding for KidSafe. Earlier this evening, we had a public hearing, citizens participation hearing, in which there was tremendous support from people within the community, the directors of the foundation. There was a letter submitted to Town Administrator Picaro from the village, as well as a memo from myself. I don't know if you need that read at all. So the town will serve as the responsible entity preparing the application to the state to serve as a pass-through to KidSafe. And the work is to, address a retaining wall that is near collapse, crumbling foundation, which has been identified there. And so the funding can be used to try to correct that situation.
Thank you. Questions? Brian?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Testa, thank you for coming tonight. So it says that the grant's not to exceed $150,000. So as we're administering it, so say the wall costs $110,000. $40,000 goes back to the state, or does it come back to the town?
No, it's actually, there's a construction line item within that 150 as well as administrative and programmatic costs. If it comes in under budget, the money will go back to the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
The town ultimately like a letter of credit for that funding, and if we draw against that as construction costs are known and easier.
So we're using the town finance department?
Yes, the finance department processes payment requisitions and releases funds upon receipt from the state.
So then that begs the question to me, what happens if we go over the cost?
Well, then we need to go back to the state of Connecticut to see if we can get additional funding to try to do some value engineering to try to reduce the cost.
Okay, so we're just purely administrative by the town?
Correct. There's no financial obligation.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Anybody else? No? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Travis, new business number 3.
Resolved, the town council hereby approves and authorizes the Vernon Cemetery Commission to purchase a mower for the Vernon Cemetery Department.
Second.
Second by Paul. Travis, you want to give us a little bit on what's going on with this?
Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. Through you, Mayor. We base the useful life of our X-Mark mowers on 10 years or 2,000 hours. Currently, the mower that we're requesting to replace is 12 years old, and more importantly, has 2,700 hours on it. It's lasted well beyond its useful life, and it's had a great return on investment, and I attribute that to how well we maintain our equipment. But however, the cost for repairs coming up is going to exceed the value of the mower, so we're looking to replace it. So just to give you an idea of how this mower is used, it's used every single day starting from April through November.
Thank you. Questions?
Through the mayor, hi Travis. So I'm curious to know, what is the lifetime of the mower type that you have?
Yes, the mower that we have right now is the one that we're looking to replace.
Right.
Is 12 years old and has 2,700 hours on it.
But what's the normal expected lifetime?
Oh, 10 years or 2,000 hours.
So it's well beyond its original lifetime.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Linda. Brian?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for coming. So cemetery department's mower died.
What's that?
The cemetery department's mower died.
Yes, yes.
Will there be a graveside service?
Yeah, no, we won't be there.
So I see you put the bids in there. So
Yes.
on your own volition, you went out to solicit competitive bids, I guess?
Yeah, so I called around to the local dealers that we deal with to get an idea of pricing. And I put the price for 2 different mowers on there. The difference between the 2 mowers is one has a Kohler engine and the other one has a Kawasaki. We run both mowers. We run on both engines, so I didn't, it's going to come down to an inventory issue if we decide to go through with this.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much. And good luck. Mow safely.
Yeah, thank you.
Don?
Thank you, Your Honor. Through the Mayor, Travis, do you have any warranties and guarantees on the various quotes that you've received?
I can follow up on that, I'm not sure.
Okay, I would like to make sure that we have some type of warranties.
Yeah, sure.
Length of life and so forth. Unfortunately, recently I had to purchase some more, and it was the same brand, and it was a piece of crap that I bought. Yeah, because even though it was the same model, same upgraded, everything came out plastic instead of the metal like it used to be.
Yeah.
So please make sure that we have some good quality. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And we're replacing the same mowers that we've been buying right along as well.
They do a good
good
job.
track records. Yeah, good track records with them. Our mechanic is well versed on them. We can fix just about anything on them, so that's why I wanted to go with the X-Mark again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Good, Mike.
Through you, Mayor. Good evening. The inventory that we're looking at purchasing, either the Kohler or the Kawasaki, or whatever, are they readily available in stock, or is this an order as you purchase?
So when I spoke with vendors, they were all in stock. They had both models in stock. But you know, depending on when we buy, it's the end of the year here, so I'd love to be able to grab it before we get into leaf season, before prices go up again, and it's just another inventory issue.
Will that make a difference on who you go with, if it's readily available, or all of a sudden the best price, well, we have to order it?
Yeah, so if you look at the price, two of the vendors came in at the same price, and then the third came in a little bit higher. Through previous roles, I've worked with all three of these companies, so I have relationships with all of them, so I'm going to go with whoever I feel comfortable with.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. All right, Steve, adoption of additional agenda items. We can take a vote at that. You ready, sir?
Motion to add new business item number 4.
Second by Laura. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Your Honor, the Town Council hereby waives the building permit fees for the rehabilitation of 6 Becker Place, Vernon, by the Vernon Housing Authority.
Second.
Marion, second. You guys, none of you guys both over there. You guys second. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. All right, so the building permit, we normally with the Vernon Housing Authority, we come in and they ask to waive the fees, and it has to be granted by the town council. So they're rehabbing a house on Becker Place right now. It's a house they've owned for a while, and they came in to get the building permit, but they didn't come to us to waive this. They came in yesterday, so that's why this additional agenda item was added in, because they're ready to do the work. So essentially, I'll answer whatever questions I can, if anybody has any. Tom?
Thank you, Your Honor. What are we going to be using this building for? Is there a specific purpose?
It's a building owned by the town, the housing authority, and they will have 2 apartments in
2
there.
apartments.
Yes.
Okay. And what type of rehabilitation work will be done?
They're redoing the entire building. It's a complete gut.
Complete cut? And how much is it going to cost?
I have no, well, I know the permit, the permit comes to, so it's $2,300 for the beginning part, but the mechanicals are going to be, we're not 100% in the mechanicals, but it's probably going to be around $1,500 more. So we're looking probably around $3,800 waiving.
Are these fees from the federal government, the cost of the building and the rehabilitation? Or is it town funds?
So that they would have paid the town these funds, but every time they've done work, the Vernon Housing Authority's done work, they've asked to waive the fees, and we've granted that every time.
The cost of the building?
Well, how much the building's going to cost?
Yeah, is the money coming from the federal government to purchase this building?
Yeah, I believe they got money from the federal government, but they own the building, but we're talking the money to rehab.
The rehab?
That's for money.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anybody else? Right?
So you mentioned the total fees we probably waive would be $5,300? How much over the course of the project, maybe?
Steve? Oh, so, okay. Steve, why don't you give us a rundown of the total cost? This whole table thing in front of me here.
So through the mayor, the total renovation that we have so far for just the building portion of it is $100,000. The total fees that would be waived would be $2,045. That consists of a building fee of $2,010, a zoning fee of $25, and a COCA fee of $10. So if they were waived, the only thing that the housing authority would have to pay would be the state ed fee, which would be $26. In addition to that, mechanicals would be needed, and that would be an electrical permit, plumbing permit, and an HVAC permit, which I would estimate, based on the size and the scope of the project, would be approximately $1,500, about $500 per mechanical permit. So.
So Brian, you were.
No, so it's not substantial, that's all I was curious. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's, at this time, is there anyone living in this
No.
building?
No, there's not.
How long has it been empty?
Use your microphone.
I've got it on.
Did?
Yeah. It's on, it's green.
Just can't hear you.
Yeah, I've only got a couple more meetings to go.
All right,
How long has the building been vacant, sir?
Steve.
Through the mayor, I don't know the exact time. I know the fire marshal and myself visited the site probably about a year ago with the housing authority to kind of walk through the project in the beginning. So, and it was vacant at that time, so it's been at least a year.
And what is how old is the building? Because a lot of times after
It's a historic building. We had to have a historic. So, yeah.
Actually, through the mayor, I don't have an exact date. It just it predates everything that we have. So.
The historic system, Bob Hurd had to weigh in on it
and it's
because it's historic.
historic, and it can be. Does it have to go by historical?
The windows do. I know that. So probably some other portions of it will have to.
And you're going to rent this out.
That's the housing authority's going to do that.
All right. You're not intending to sell it or anything once it's rehabbed.
Steve's not selling anything.
Well, I don't know how they work, but can.
Yeah. So that'll be under the housing authority's control, and they're going to be renting it out. Just they have several individual buildings throughout town that they do the same thing with.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, anybody else? Thank you.
Through you, Mayor. So there's nobody here from the housing authority actually?
Well, I will answer the questions for them if I can.
Okay. I was going to ask the same thing that Polly had asked to specify that, because I live right down the street on Village Street, and I've seen all the houses that they've done in the past, and they sold for a profit after they renovated them.
Those aren't those were done under the nonprofit. Those were not done under the housing authority. There's two different portions of the, you could say, the housing authority. So there was a nonprofit that was taking a lot of these vacant properties, rehabbed them, and then sold them. So those houses were never part of the housing authority stock. This house belongs to the housing authority.
So
It's not part of the nonprofit.
okay, so this will not be sold, it will be rented.
Right, this is going to be rented and run by the housing authority.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else? Right.
Since, Mr. Mayor, since we have a lot of questions about this, should we postpone this till the next meeting and have her come and answer? Ms. Soto come and answer the questions?
Well, I'll answer anything that I can answer for you. I think they're ready to actually start construction. That's why they showed up yesterday to do this.
It's kind of...
What's that, Brent? Steve.
Your Honor, thank you. Why can't she be here tonight?
She's in Waterbury.
I'm in Vernon.
Bring forth some.
I just find it a little odd that if it's that important to them that they come push this thing yesterday, that she doesn't show up tonight.
Or send somebody. Anybody.
I'll make a motion to put put this off till the next meeting and have her come to answer questions.
I see.
Seconded by Mike. All right, we have a motion within the motion, so we gotta act on that first. Any questions on postponing? Yeah,
No, I don't want to make a question, I just want to comment on the motion. I don't know if you've ever been in a, building a house or, on a tight schedule for construction. I really think holding them up is probably not a good thing to do at this time, and who will be hurting? It's really people who need a home who are, looking for a place to live. So I really think we could, why not just bring her in and ask her about it to answer our questions, but why hold up the construction project? Thank you.
well, that's kind of why we brought it here tonight, because we didn't want to do that.
Right.
Mary?
It's not unusual to waive a nonprofit's fees. I realize she's not here to answer the questions. The building permit was filed. You've got the gist of what they're going to be doing with the building permit. She's filed it. And I think at this point, if we can move forward, but I think she really needs to next time appear in person so that she can answer the questions. Because there's questions from me as far as I can get to, but lead, asbestos, it's an old building. Right, it's historical. But if we've got a work crew that's ready to go, I would hate to see somebody losing time at work. And that's the only reason that I would vote to approve it tonight. Thanks.
Steve?
Your Honor, move for a 5-minute recess.
5 minutes.
I don't know the logistics specifically, but it's submitted to the projects. No, the permit's supposed to be approved in 8 p.m. before they start construction.
Yeah, so, yeah, the cold is. It's not perfect. So Jim was like, not perfect, because I can't work it's a weird relationship because it really covers all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I got really bad news. It's like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of, I don't know, I can't. I know. I think it's just like, I told him like, after this model is done,
Brian.
So I'll remove my, rescind my motion. We were going to approve the fees anyway, approve the waiving of the fees anyway. It's just that we had so many questions about what was going on with the project that I thought maybe she should come. So I would advise anybody who wants us to do this that please come and explain your project to us before you ask for the fees being waived. I'm sort of upset that she's in Waterbury, you know, because people are all over the place. If this was that important to her, she could have been here tonight to explain it. But otherwise than that, I think I'll rescind my motion since we were going to approve anyway, and we'll go from there. I got the second here.
Mike?
Through you, Mayor. I agree, Brian. Yeah, I second it, yeah. I withdraw. It's just, I'd like to make a point that if you're going to ask for something like this, you should have, decency as the leader of that department there to make your appearance and answer the questions that we might have. Somebody, or send a representative or somebody.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Laura?
Yes, I'd just like to make a comment that I would like to have Soto come and at another meeting and just give us a little update on it. I feel we should pass this, but we'd like an update.
We'll make the request. Bill?
Thank you, Your Honor. Through you, I agree with the previous speakers. I think it's very unfortunate that they thought this was automatic. They should be prepared to come here and tell us why they're making this request and tell us a little bit about their business and what's going on. I don't think any of us want to make life difficult for them, but it's not automatic. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right. And you got that we rescinded the, okay. All right. Thank you. Steve, let's do the minutes first, and then we'll go to executive.
Town Council waives the reading of the minutes of the regular Town Council meeting on September 21, 2021, and the minutes of said meeting be approved.
Seconded by Paul. Are there any corrections or deletions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right, Steve, executive session number 1.
The Town Council, pursuant to the authority given in Connecticut General Statutes 1 and 202, hereby moves to go into executive session to discuss personnel and invites Michael J. Picaro, Town Administrator, and Don Maslett, Assistant Town Administrator, to attend.
Seconded by Polly. All those in favor? All those in favor? Did it happen again? Unanimous. You know, read out the rest of it. Thanks, Mike.
I don't care if you don't go any further, beat that name.
All right, so we're going to do executive session number 2 first.
Your Honor, 3-0 Red Sox.
I second.
Your Honor, executive session number 2. The Town Council hereby authorizes Michael J. Picaro, Town Administrator, to negotiate a contract for mental health services with the Hockenham Valley Community Council in an amount not to exceed $69,000 and authorizes the signing of any and all documents for same. Further, the Town Council agrees that it is in the best interest of the town to waive the sealed bid requirements for this purpose.
Seconded by Paul. All right. All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right, Steve? Hold on. That was a unanimous vote. I didn't have my mic on. Thank you. All right.
This has to do with the
All right, executive session number 3.
Resolved, the Town Council, consistent with the Town Charter, Chapter 12, Section 9, hereby waives the bid procedure for costs involving environmental consulting services by Weston and Sampson, 712 Brook Street, Suite 103, Rocky Hill, Connecticut. This work is on a time and material basis not to exceed $17,890 and is associated with remediation and the redevelopment of 98 East Main Street as part of the DECD Brownfield redevelopment grant, and further authorizes the town administrator to execute on behalf of the town of Vernon any instruments to that effect.
Seconded by Mike. All right, all those in favor? Unanimous? Steve?
Move to adjourn.
Seconded by Paul. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, guys.